Alright, so this is the first screen you'll see in the Spectrum module of the IR software. Again, this is, so you open IR Solutions, it'll open this, and you'll click Spectrum, and then that will open this screen. Okay, and the first thing you want to do is to set your settings. So here's your 4 tabs. You may see them layer over each other. If it's too close, they'll do this, so just be aware. Really what you want to look at is the data. Your measurement mode should be power. If you're doing the reflectance. So power is for reflectance with this integrating sphere here. And the resolution, the smaller this number, the better the resolution, because this is measured in reciprocal centimeters. So 0.25 reciprocal centimeters is much finer, much better than 16 reciprocal centimeters. So we're going to keep it at 2. And for this accessory, this is the mid-band MCT near IR. Sorry, no, this is mid-band IR. Anyways, the range you want is 500 to 4,000. That's the maximum range that this accessory does. And let's see, and for beam, you want internal for the beam. Your 3 options would be internal, external, and validate. So you want internal. And option 2, you always want option 2 with this accessory inside. Mirror speed, you want the high number is better signal, so you want that. This atmospheric correction is optional. You'll see what atmosphere looks like. There'll be some absorbance here, and then there'll be a spike for CO2 around like 2,000 or so, and then more stuff over here. This is optional. You can use it or not. And want to note that you also need to choose power in this part of the mode. So there's measurement mode over in data here, and you select power, and then in more you also have to select power here. Gain is gain, so if you're not seeing enough signal, you can increase your gain up to 128. I don't recommend that, but something to know. And you can either use auto aperture, or it has also been recommended to use 3. And that's the size of size after the source, which emits in all directions. There's an aperture size of the light that will go through and into the sphere. Okay, in the advanced, this is something for later on. You can choose the interferogram noise or interferogram similarity values. You can set these, and then you can evaluate. You can choose to do a data evaluation based on those. So that's not something you'd start with, but something to play around with later. Okay. The other thing, when you just start the instrument, if you did not have the accessory in before and you're just putting it in, you want to make sure you initialize, and then you may have to do a course adjustment after that. In our case, we did not have to because we did it previously, and it was aligned well enough. All the parameters were good enough that it passed. Okay, so after you set your parameters, you're going to save your parameters here, and it's going to save it with this file name. So you can load past parameters by clicking the 3 dots and go through other stuff, click them and load them. In this case, we like what we have. And let's see, the next thing would be to scan. I'm trying to think of, yeah, that's all there really is to it. You can do your background scan, so let's do that. That'll be pretty quick. Right now, actually, hand over here. So with the background scan, this sphere is coated with gold on the inside, so it's 100% reflective or very near that. And then this reference also is gold plated. So when we put this over here, we have an entirely reflective sphere. So any light that comes in should be, we shouldn't lose any signal. So we should see all of it. So it should be, all that we'll see in this background scan is going to be water vapor and air and CO2. So here's your water vapor stuff over here, and this is CO2 for the main peak of CO2, and then these are also some other CO2. When I say that they're CO2, really what this is measuring, what IR measures is bond lengths and bond energies. So you might call this like a C bond H stretch, or an asymmetric stretch. So each molecule will have more than one type of motion it can make, whether it's a scissoring or a bend. There's different movements that molecules can make, and those will correlate with different energy bands. And that, remember, we're looking at reciprocal centimeters, and our range is from 500 to 4,000. All right, so this is our background scan, and next we're going to change to our sample, and we're going to run an measurement. So you always need to have a background scan in order to have an accurate measurement. So that's the silicon side down, right? The wafer with the silicon side down. And, all right. So after our background scan, which is technically a measurement, finishes, it goes from being a measurement mode to over into view mode. So this is what view mode looks like. And we can see our parameters over here. And we can show or hide them with this view. So if I click this, right now it's check marked. If I click it, it hides them. So we're going to bring it back because we want to see our parameters. All right, so now we're in view mode right now. We're going to click measurement to move to the measurement screen. And then we're going to do our sample scan. And it's always going to take the most recent background that you have loaded. So we just did our background, and now we're doing our sample scan. And so it's going to take, essentially, it looks very much the same because it's reflecting almost everything, right? So this sample reflects almost everything, so it's going to look very, very similar to our background scan. And notice we didn't change any of our parameters over here. We wanted to run exactly the same parameters as the background scan. Okay, so I think it's taking 50 scans really quick. It's still very quick, but yeah, 50. It shows 50 scans. All right. So this is our silicon wafer scan. And you can see it looks basically like the background. So I think that's it. Is there anything else we wanted to? Yep. That's it. So over here you can do more manipulations. You can select peaks, add peaks. Just different things you can do with the software. So we don't need to go through all that right now. It's not going to be very exciting. Here, just click. So you can click and click to zoom. You can do the previous view or all the way back to the full view. So for example, if I clicked and zoomed again, went too far in, didn't it? So you can do last view. It takes you back. Anyways. And then here, so we have, this is the action we're on peak pick. So we can choose our thresholds and add a point. So for example, if it shows from here to here. Just doing, ignore that last part. We need to do that. I think we're done.